What do you think there's some conversations right now that people are afraid to have, maybe? Like, do you think there's any that people are afraid to have? Or and if you want to say no comment, you can say no comment. I'm okay with that too.
I'm going to say no comment. I've had great opportunities to be across this entire this district of Saginaw Bay and Midland counties and the different portions of it, and getting so much. Some of them like, ooh, it's a lot, and others like, okay, they're talking about this here. So everything. I've been hit up about everything from prison reform.
That's huge.
Talk about our mental health quite a bit, to the schools, to the medical diamond in Saginaw, to how do we get more affordable housing? How do we stop these corporations from buying up all these properties and charging $1,500 for rent? So I realized there's only so much in my control, whether it's part of the Senate majority or the Senate itself or the state itself. But hearing those kind of things, we need more law enforcement. We also need more 911 dispatchers. We need more firefighters. So it's taking in a lot. And doing the best. So we're putting my team together right now for Lansing.
That's great.
Yeah, and so we still have the campaign team. So they're getting a lot of it right now, but still working through how do we approach things. Because people always ask, what's the first thing, what's your top priority when you get to Lansing? And I was like, I've heard.
That's not on my list.
Okay, I've heard so much. I says, but the number one thing is we're in budget season. 2 budgets are getting ready to come out. And, our state budget, which is the main job of state legislators, and then our school budget for our public schools and how our young people are going to be funded to learn the following year. So a lot of things fall into that state budget. A lot of those affordability things that the state can manage falls into there. A lot of those safety things, right? When the state house passes a similar SAVE Act that the federal government is trying to do to take away our voting rights or make it harder, because it is harder, right? And then the Supreme Court decision, those some of the things that people aren't talking about, but we're in the midterms. Right? This special election has brought our attention, like voting is happening, but like it's about to pick up. You think you were tired of seeing Chedrick Greene in your mailbox, you about to see a lot. You're about to see a lot more other people, right?
I never got one.
Really?
I never got one. My mother probably literally, because she leaves stuff on her table. Don't get me started about that. Mom, I love you. She had probably like 10 or, she would have tons of, I never got one. So I don't know why. I don't know. I never got one for you or Jason.
Oh, really?
No, never got. So I don't know. Maybe they.
I don't know. I don't know how they do that behind the scees numbers.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they know I'm a little bit of a tinfoil hat lady. And I'm kidding. Okay, and so we're starting to wrap up.
Okay.
But I like what you said about when you get to Lansing, because one thing that's interesting is that what I found too, even we were in that cohort, but then also watching this kind of not only this, but like the presidential election, just some things a lot more closely lately. I realize people don't know the process of how things are changed, right? Meaning, if you run on, I'm going to do this, this is what I'm going to work for. But then when you get into the space and you realize that to get to Z, you have to kind of vote for M. Then you got to vote for P. That is not, and it doesn't look like it's favorable to other people that are supporting you.
Absolutely.
But we know we have to get to Z. And I've been paying attention to that, and people are like, well, that's not what that's not. And it's like, it's a process.
Yes.
Like
I'm
things
glad
don't
you brought this
happen.
up.
Yes.
I talk about that as well. It's like sometimes, I say all the time, like every problem has a solution. It's my job as a state representative to make that equitable. The best that I can. For what I can. So sometimes that equability is going to be 25-75. Sometimes it's going to be 51-49. Sometimes it's going to be 0-100. But if you get the process in place, you can build upon those things, right? And so people don't get that, right? When you were 10, you like Pokemon. When you were 18, you didn't. It's a process to get you from 10 to 18, right? It's the same with laws and legislation. And that's why these things are negotiated, and it takes such a long time. So you have to trust the process, but we also can improve the process.
Yes, and be a little bit more transparent.
Yeah.
A little bit, I think. I think one part that some politicians fail at is they just do things that appear to go against what they said they were going to do, and they don't offer any type of, well, this is kind of why. Not that you can explain every part of the process, but you can at least speak to the people to try to hopefully put them a little bit at ease, right? And so I think that is fair.
Right.
So
the biggest thing is I found out is distribution of information, right?
Yes.
So, and I was at a meeting last night and we were kind of talking about the same thing. So if Chedrick Greene for State Senate has all of Chedrick Greene's information, but you don't want to follow that because you don't have a Facebook page, you don't have an Instagram page, how do I get that information? Or how do I need you to get over here to this information?
Right.
And so, because it was about gun violence and youth violence, and it was like, how do we get information, right? A young man that's in that lifestyle, unfortunately, isn't watching the news at 6 o'clock.
Right.
You know, he's not watching any news at any time. You know, CNN is not on or Fox News is not on in the background. Like, how do I get this positive message into, unfortunately, like NBA YoungBoy's song?
Right.
You know,
Because he is the news.
Yeah,
right? He's not watching
their news, right? Or how do I get that on the YouTube channels that they're looking at and the processes? So. Dissemination of information is going to be something that I want to make sure.
That's important.
I want to not just have, hey, we got a Facebook page, we have an Instagram page, follow us, right?
Right.
We got to do a little bit more than that. We have to be creative in how we reach voters, how we reach constituents, how we reach those that think that I'm the dumbest person that ever run for office, which I know that's not true.
Yes.
So that's important, and I want to be that person. Like, I tell people, I make one promise.
Yeah.
I'm going to work hard. I have no other agenda but to work hard for the people.
So I'm going to end it with, and this is like very cliche. But I want to ask you, you know, I think about, you know, I've heard some of your story growing up, and, you know, think about like your mom and your, you know, dad being there watching everything. If you could speak to yourself, you know, like when you were 10 or 15 and you were, or even 18, when you were trying to find out, like, what am I doing? What am I going to do in life? What would you tell young Mr. Greene?
From going at it myself, believe in God. He has a path for you. It's not always clear to you walking down it, but if you follow it, when you turn around and take a quick, brief look back, you will see you've been through some stuff, and the reason you're here is because he needed you to go through those things.
Yeah, in this moment,
That I think that's the biggest thing I do. Once again, I look back at how I was a knucklehead growing up, like wasn't bad, just didn't know how to channel who I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And through unplanned progression, like this is not anything I was like, hey, this is my life, I've hit these check marks. It's just like everything has been for a reason. The people in my life at the time was to put me in the places that I needed to be seen at. The fact that I met that firefighter playing basketball, that was there for a reason, because he hadn't been playing basketball there before.
Oh, okay.
You know, the reason the Army didn't want me made me realize I'm stronger as a Marine.
Yeah.
Being bored made me go on the state Senate site to click on employment when I had a job and found this. So it's just unplanned progression, I believe. And so it's the path that was made for me. And I just had to make sure that I was confident enough and paid attention enough to know what my signs. I tell my son all the time, like, doors may close on you. Just make sure they're not locked, because you never know when you have to go back into those doors. So I missed a lot of opportunities in life. There's some other things that I tried to do and didn't work out for me. I was like, man, I missed that calling. But it was meant for me to have that challenge to put me in a place to, because I never, in my 50 years of life, ever talked about running for office. I mean, I ran before, but I was like, it's just contentious, right? And I don't like the back and forth chatter. But
that's the unfortunate part of it,
this win has shown that people want true character, people who really believe in people. And I know I say it a lot of times, I was like, people like, man, you're living in a fairy tale world. I was like, the problem is we're not living there, where more of our leaders, our elected people, don't have that. So the ones that get out there, it's tough for them to get elected, right?
Yeah.
But I think the way that this has gone, like it was. I'm not the right candidate for everybody, but I'm right for this district.
Yeah,
and
for this
that's
moment,
and for this moment. So
yeah,
it's the plan, right?
No,
So
I
trust,
that.
faith,
and you know, believe in yourself. I mean, again, I had no desire to ever be in the military. I mean, I thought about it at one point in time because I was like, you know, they promise you this, and this. I'm like, well, which most kids, right, in different backgrounds will be like, or different life experiences, you know, like, okay, this may be a way out. This may be a way for me to, you know, better my life. And then when I started looking at stuff and I was talking to people, I said, no, I don't want somebody yelling at me and telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And then like being a firefighter again, the debacle with the plug, that's not my jam. And so I always commend people who do those lines of work and are able to, and just believe in yourself to walk into those spaces and say, I can't do this. I don't have all the answers, right? I don't know all the things, but I'm willing to put in the work. And I think that's what makes good leadership, in my opinion. We don't know what we're doing half of the time, right? But it's the idea that I believe in this enough that I'm going to work hard to get where we need to go. So, and I know you're tired. I know you have been getting phone calls and text messages and things, and been running around doing interviews and all this stuff. So I'm going to let you go, but I appreciate you. Again, congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Who would have thought? You know, we are so proud of our little cohort.
Yes,
you know?
we are.
I mean, we are very proud. You know, and just again, you know, I'm pretty middle on what I believe in far as politics. I'm conservative on some things and a little bit on the left from others, but I love seeing people work hard, and I love good people doing good things. And so I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Once again, you know, our cohort is the best, right?
We are.
I'm going to have to get that to the SBA because, I mean, Amanda's been phenomenal for me. Me and Carrie have been talking so much more.
She missed my event because I told her, I said, I'm going to give you a pass. But
you know, and Lori's been come to events, you know, I was like, where's my Starbucks, you know?
I know that she forgot mine, but Lori, she made up for it. She gave me a gift card.
So, you know, and like Heather's called me, Dr. Matz reached out to me at Tanoke. So like our cohort it has been, we probably 2025 cohort is the best. We are the best.
I mean, I hate to tell everybody else, but it is what it is. No, we were great. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
I appreciate
Aaron.
you. And we're looking forward to see where your path continues to take you. So
thank you. Thank you.